Okay, so I think it's Ethan, Jay, and Daniel. Is that on the call? If I've missed anyone, hello, my name's Sophie. So I am a sophrologist, and I also am a Buteyko breathing coach. So in today's session, we will be doing, you've probably just overheard the conversation about visualizations and how they can actually improve the game, but they can also improve just your daily, feelings in life as well. But I'm going to start with some breathing techniques for you, because breathing is probably the foundation. The way we breathe and the way we use our energy is really important, and I don't think we get taught this enough. So the first thing I'm going to get you to do is understand how you're breathing. Now, the cameras aren't on, so I can't actually see, but for your own benefit, I want you to notice. So what I'll get you to do, if you're sitting on a chair, just stand up and just pop your hands. It's just at the base of your ribs, because I want you to understand where you're breathing and what area of the body you're breathing into. So if you're able to do that, and now I want you to just close the mouth. Close your mouth if it's open already. And I want you to notice when you breathe in through the nose and out of the nose, are you feeling that rib cage expand? Because what happens, our nose is connected to that diaphragm. Our mouth, it's not connected to the diaphragm. So if we're running and we're playing sport and we're just mouth breathing, we're just breathing through the mouth, we're actually releasing a lot of the carbon dioxide that we need in our body to actually get efficient oxygen out to our tissues and our muscles, because we need to build up so we have an exchange. So chemically in our body, what happens if we're just breathing through the mouth, we're going to get more exhausted and we're going to feel more tired on the court. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Can you feel that area expanding? And then the other thing is, a lot of the time, if you haven't been consciously breathing, when you hear breathe in, a lot of people do breathe in the reverse. And I did this for many years. I actually did this throughout playing sport. I didn't learn how to breathe correctly until I was in my 20s. So when you breathe in, when you hear the words breathe in, I want you to really feel the belly. So the lungs are filling up with air. So it blows up like a big balloon. And when you breathe out, that should be getting contracted. So it's like the belly goes into the rib cage. It's pushing back in. So then when we're popping our hands back here, you'll feel it expand at the front, but you'll also feel it expand on the sides as well if you're breathing correctly, because we were really going down low into the lungs. So breathing in and out, and breathing in and out. And one more, breathing in and out. So during your week, and even if you're doing, if there's, quite a few students on the call, as you're doing your schoolwork, it's really important that you take those breaks after 20 minutes and just focus on where you're breathing. And just start to practice breathing through the nose for efficiency. Now, there's other really good reasons why we should be breathing through the nose and not the mouth. So one of them is we create something called nitric oxide. Now, you can never have enough nitric oxide in the body, but nasal nitric oxide is actually, it's like an antibacterial. So it actually cleans the air. Mm-hmm. As you're breathing in, it cleans it. So when we breathe in, we have little nose hairs, and this filters the air coming in as well. So it moistens the incoming air and it's warming the incoming air. So, and then that's then producing that nitric oxide. So when we carry this into our lungs, if we're breathing through the nose, it's going to go down deep into the lungs, and that's where we want it to go. So if we're breathing through the mouth, then we're losing a lot of moisture as well. You have to remember that. So there's a good chance that you're going to take in lots of different bacteria and stuff. So efficiency is breathing through the nose. Now it's a hard switch if you've been used to breathing through the mouth when you do exercise. So what I would suggest, we're going to do a couple of exercises just to see how you're breathing and to feel the difference. So the first thing that I'd like you to do is just notice if either side of your nostrils is congested. So just blocking one nostril at a time and breathing in and out through the nose. Now I want you to feel the slightly air going in through the nose and warmer air slightly coming out of the nose, keeping the nostril blocked. Breathing slightly cooler air coming in through the nose and out through the nose. And again, breathing in slightly cooler air and slightly warmer air coming out, and putting that attention really on the air coming in and out. And now I want you to switch. And now we're going to breathe in again through the nose, slightly cooler air, slightly warmer air coming out. Breathing in slightly cooler air and slightly warmer air coming out. And you can let go and just breathe in through the nose. And it's going to be, for those who don't have their camera on, just notice yourself. Did anyone, so I'm just going to, sorry, I'm just looking for the name. Is it Jaya that I can see with the camera on? No? So if you've got your camera on, can you give me a thumbs up? Did you feel a difference between the two sides? Greg, you did? Yep. All right, so what that means, so what we're going to do now is a decongesting. Now this, you know, like even I study with a guy by the name of Patrick McEwen. Now he's written many books and he's talked to, you know, specialists, ENT specialists. He's done huge kind of talks, and they're not really sure what the scientific reason is for this little exercise working, but it does work. If you have a congested nostril or both sides, what I want you to do is we're going to breathe in through the nose. I'll just give you an example first. We're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, block the nose, and you're just going to sort of sway or shake the head as you're holding your breath. And then when you release, it's really important that you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose again. So you need to close the mouth, make sure the mouth is zipped up as we're doing this. It is tricky. And we're going to do it again. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, block the nose, and then just sway or shake. And again, important that you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And we're going to do it a third time. One more time. Ready? You're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Hold the nostrils, block, and just sway or shake, whatever you're comfortable with. And then breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now taking a couple of breaths. Does it feel clearer? Just give me a thumbs up. Yep. Yeah, so it's quite amazing. So what I would suggest, if it's still a little bit blocked, you can do that up to 6 times. Now, the more you do an exercise like this, the more you actually decongest, the better that flow will be. So as you breathe in, when you're consciously breathing and you're breathing in through the nose, again, you're getting more oxygen, because what you do is you build up your tolerance to the CO2 levels, which is carbon dioxide. Now, we need to have that in our body. Most of the time when I watch a lot of basketball games, my kids play as well. So I watch a lot of these games, and I'm watching a lot of great young athletes getting very tired on the court. Now, the reason why I feel they're getting tired is the way they're breathing. It's not that their bodies don't have the stamina. It's not that they haven't practiced enough. A lot of the time it's the breath work. It's just not optimal. Really releasing a lot of energy through over breathing and hyperventilating on the court. So in order to just get that energy and get that exchange of so there's something in our blood and what carries the oxygen out to our tissues and muscles called hemoglobin. Now that's a protein, and it holds on to that oxygen until we get that enough CO2 in our body Now, this isn't a science lesson, so I'm going to just talk about this and then I'll stop with the science part of it. But we need that buildup of CO2 in the body to release the oxygen. And we need that release to our muscles and tissues efficiently. Now, if you're breathing through the mouth, you got plenty of oxygen in there. You're just releasing and you're not getting the exchange. So the energy levels in someone breathing through the mouth as opposed to someone who's breathing through the nose there's going to be a big difference. Yeah. All right. So that's our breathing. And if you want any more information on Buteyko, there are a lot of videos and there's also an app. So I'll pass that on to Greg and Jordan. So if anyone's interested, they can contact me and we can do some more work on that. But if you want the spelling of it, it's BUTKO. Okay, or there's a really good book, and this is a great book for anyone who, classifies themselves as an athlete. And I highly recommend, even if you love running around, if you love, whatever sport, whether it's basketball or something else, or whether it's just about personal well-being, a great book. It's Oxygen Advantage. And it has a lot of exercises, Buteyko exercises that I highly recommend. Okay, we're going to move on. So the next part of what I'm going to say is just emotionally, when you're on the court. Now, our emotions play a big part in how we feel in sport. So before we visualization and our guided session, I want you to remember this word. So the moment you put meaning to something, whether it's something that someone says to you on the court, whether it's a friend, a family member, whoever, the moment you put meaning to it, you actually believe it. So it's really important to know what we're putting meaning to. So if you are having an off day and your shooting isn't the best, and someone says to you, you can't shoot, the moment you put meaning to that, you've now believed, that's now in your system, that's in your memory bank, and you're believing that. Really to really notice what you're putting meaning to. And the reason I bring that up is just so you've got some awareness. When people say things, they're in that moment. If it's not something that's going to uplift you, really consider whether you take that on. Okay, so we are all, I believe that athletes, are the best athletes are the ones that practice. You might have natural ability at some stage in your life, but without the practice, that'll go and other people will come up because they've been practicing. So anything you want to get good at, whether it's school or sport or anything really in life, it takes practice. So this visualization is, again, it's lifting, but what I want you to practice is watching yourself. So I'll get you to close your eyes now. And I want you to practice taking a shot. And it could be a free throw. It could be a layup. And I really just want you to notice how your body's feeling in that moment, because we're going to use this through our guided session. So I want you to know during the weight, the sounds. It could be the sounds of the ball bouncing. It could be the sounds of your teammates. I want you to notice the colors. I want you to notice the taste of what you're experiencing, whether your mouth is dry or whether it's not, you just feel very embodied. So really start to pay attention and bring in the senses as you're visualizing yourself taking that shot. And notice the in your body when that shot goes in. There's a feeling as soon as the ball leaves your hand, you know that's going in. Before it hits the ring, you know that you've got that shot in. I want you to practice that feeling. And now just notice where that sits in your body. Because during this exercise, when I get you to experience a happy moment, I want you to feel that feeling. The visualizations, every time I ask you to go into, there's something called an integration pause. Every time I get you to notice the physical sensations that are now happening in your body, I want you to go into the visualization of basketball. I want you to go into the visualization of taking a shot and feel how that feels in the body with all your senses. Okay, now take a breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And get comfortable in your chair. If you have a pen and paper close by, you're going to use that at the end of this session. And what I'm going to get you to do is actually write a couple of lines of how you felt, the physical sensations that you felt in your body, like whether you felt cool, hot, tingling, you felt the weight, gravity pulling you down. It may be different for different people. And then notice how you feel, whether you're feeling calm. And just take a few breaths in through the nose, getting comfortable in your chair, and closing your eyes if they're not already closed. So closing your eyes so that you can concentrate better on yourself and just relax into your chair, finding a comfortable position. And if during the exercise you need to move or open your eyes, that's fine too. Just making sure you're comfortable and relaxed. And I'm going to start by asking you to notice the sounds far away, the sounds nearer at hand, and then the sounds from your own body, your breathing or your heartbeat. And just welcoming those sounds as being part of life without trying to work out what they are. And now I'm going to get you to start from inside. I'll also be speaking in the I form, so you'll be hearing, I become aware of everything that's happening in my hand, my right hand, all the physical sensations in the right hand, as if it's the first time I've noticed I have a hand. Become aware of my thumb, my index finger, my middle finger, my ring finger, and my little finger. I become aware of the back of my hand and the palm of my hand, my wrist, my forearm, my elbow, and my upper arm. I become aware of the whole of my right arm. And then I focus on my left hand. Everything that's happening in my left hand. My thumb, my index finger, my middle finger, my ring finger, and my little finger. I become aware of the back of my hand and the palm of my hand, my wrist, my forearm, my elbow, and my upper arm. I become aware of the whole of my left arm, and I compare it with my right arm. I compare the weight of each, the temperature of each, and the size of each. And then I focus on my right foot, everything that's happening in my right foot, as if it's the first time I've noticed I have a foot. I become aware of my toes, the sole of my foot, the top of my foot, my ankle, my lower leg, my knee, and my upper leg. I become aware of the whole of my right leg, and then I focus on my left foot with curiosity and wonder, as if it's the first time I've noticed I have a foot. And I become aware of all the physical sensations, and then I focus on my toes, the sole of my foot, the top of my foot, my ankle, my lower leg, my knee, and my upper leg. I become aware of the whole of my left leg, and I compare it with my right leg. I compare the weight of each, the temperature of each, and the size of each. And now I focus on my head, all the physical sensations in my head. And I pay attention to my brain. And I become especially aware of my forehead, everything that's happening in my forehead. And then in my eyes, and all the tiny little muscles in and around my eyes. I become aware of my nose and the air that's going in and the air that's going out. My mouth and jaw, my ears. Now I become aware of my throat. Again, as if it's the first time I've noticed I have a throat. And then further down to my shoulders, my chest area, everything that's happening inside the chest. Just noticing all the physical sensations and all the organs inside the chest. And then I move down to the middle part of the body, the stomach area. I become aware of the organs inside and all the sensations and feelings inside. And then further down to the abdomen, the lower abdomen, the hip area. And again, awareness of the physical sensations, the heat, the cold, the tingling, the weight, everything that's happening. And then I become aware of my back, all the muscles down my back to the base of my spine. Then I become aware of the whole of my body, the weight of my body, the temperature of my body, and the size of my body. And then I breathe out fully, emptying the stomach and lungs. So just breathing out, emptying the stomach and lungs, and I breathe in through the nose and hold the breath, lifting the hands above the head. So slowly just lifting the hands, clenching the fists, and I'm going to tense the whole of my body. So I want you to squeeze and tense, tense a little bit more, a little bit more, squeezing your face, your neck, your shoulders, my arms, tense, tense, and release. Just breathing out through the mouth if you like, or through the nose, breathing out and just releasing, relaxing, and letting go of all the tensions, both mental and physical. Then I want you to just notice the body and everything that's happening in the body right now after having released. Now, this is called an integration pause. And in this moment, we're going to start experiencing what it feels like to take a shot. So I want you to start noticing with all your senses how it feels to take a shot. Whether you're shooting from the free throw line, laying up or assisting, bring in the colors, the sounds, notice the weight. How are your feet planted? Notice your knees bending. Feel the ball as you bounce it and hear it. What other physical sensations can you feel? And take the shot. Notice the shot going straight in. And how does it feel in your body? Paying special attention to where you feel this in your body. Do you feel it in your stomach? In your chest? Taking it all in. Now we're going to go back to the physical sensations in the body. Noticing the breath going in and out. And now I'm going to think of a time, whether it was in the last season or a different season, where I felt really happy. And this could be playing basketball, or it could be something like nature. Maybe you heard some lovely music. Maybe somebody smiled. Something that happened that made you feel really happy. And I'm going to relive that moment of happiness as if it's happening right now, with the colors, with sounds, the smells, as if I'm really there. And I notice where happiness sits in the body. What are the feelings and what are the physical sensations in the body? And I'm thinking of this happy moment and living this happy moment. And now I let go of the happy moment and I just concentrate on the physical sensations of happiness within the body. Just noticing where they are and what it feels like. And then I think of another happy moment. Again, it could be playing basketball, taking a shot. Just thinking of this happy moment that happened maybe this season, last season, or a time in the past. And again, when I felt really happy, maybe something else I saw, maybe it was a new way of playing, something I learned that really worked. Maybe somebody said something nice. Maybe I heard something. And I want you to relive this happy moment with the colors, the sounds, the feelings, the smells. And again, just noticing the happiness feeling within the body, the physical manifestations of happiness within the body. What does the body do when I think of something happy? And I let go of that happy thought and I just focus again on the physical sensations within the body. And just allowing these happy sensations within the body to spread and grow and permeate the cells. So they just fall into every cell of the body. And now I'm going to focus again on my breathing, as if my whole body is breathing. And then an integration pause again. And one more time, bringing yourself back on the court. An awareness of everything that's happening in the body. The weight, the temperature, the sounds, the colors, the smells. If there's a taste, just noticing everything that is happening. And now letting go of the visualization and just feeling the happy moment within the body. Where does it sit within the body? And bringing awareness back to your breath as if the whole body is breathing. And now I'm going to get you to focus on your feet and start moving and stretching your feet in a way that you feel like moving and stretching them. And allowing the movement to come up through the legs. So that moving the legs and stretching the legs, it allows the rest of the body to move and stretch. And take all the time that you need. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and grabbing your piece of paper and pen, I just want you to write a couple of lines down of how you felt, all the physical sensations that you were able to feel in the body. And by writing up the experience or talking about the experience, you actually integrate it more within the body. So the mind and body becomes more connected. So there's more of a flow of the thought. And then if anyone wants to share how they felt during that, please do. Did anyone have any questions? Were you able to visualize and feel yourself on the court? Yeah, if JR, Joel, if you want to turn on your cameras, you can. If you don't, that's perfectly fine as well. Were you able to feel that experience of what the body feels like when you're on the court, when you're taking that shot? Yeah, good. So what you want to do is, I'm not going to talk too much now because it actually, that state that you go into, if you're able to really relax the body, that's between the awake and sleep state. So it's not quite hypnosis, but it's just getting you into this relaxed state that switches on, it switches on the so you've got a nervous system, and our thoughts actually can trigger our nervous system to feel out of sorts. So what we want to do is use the breath to really bring the nervous system into, if we bring it into the one side, which is called the parasympathetic, it allows us to rest and relax in that state. The other side is the sympathetic, and that's your fight or flight. Now, where we want to be, we need our body switched on. So we want to just stabilize everything and make it balanced. So using that breath, once you practice your visualizations enough, you're practicing outside, and you know that feeling, it leaves your hand, it's going in.
Mhm.
You know, it builds the confidence that your body can do this. And you really want to start building that confidence and really just understand that you are so capable, you know, through your mind. If you are capable to get that in through your mind, and then you do enough practice, your body will follow. Now, in those pressure moments, our body also follows our thoughts. So in those pressure moments, what I want you to practice doing is just breathing and let go of the thoughts, because now you've practiced enough that your body knows what to do. Have the confidence that you've practiced enough. Your body knows how to take that shot from whichever angle. Practice all angles. I wouldn't just keep practicing the same shot. I would practice a few different ones to start with, and then go out and practice them as well. But when you are in the position of taking the shot, that's where you clear your mind. You don't start visualizing. You can do one visualization, but then I want you to just focus on your breathing. Go back to the whole body breathing, focus on your breathing and take the shot. Because have confidence that you know what to do. Your body knows what to do. It knows how to adjust the weight because you've practiced enough to know where to hold the weight in your legs, how far you bend the knees before you bounce up and take that shot. Does that all make sense? Yeah. I'd love some feedback as you practice this. If you want to get in touch with me through the Wildcats, you can. I'd be happy to answer any questions as well. If you have any questions around what we did today, or even more about the Buteyko breathing, really start to focus on your breathing patterns as well. Practicing. So a really little exercise that you can do, which helps you retrain your brain if you're breathing through your mouth a lot, is steps. And what you can do is when you're going for a walk, or, you know, even walking around the house, it's something so simple, even in lockdown, we can do. Take some steps, hold the breath as you're walking, count how many steps you can do, and then try to increase that slowly. I don't want you to get to the point where you feel completely out of breath, where you're getting dizzy. It's a matter of knowing your body. Feel the body contract, and then breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then if you want to start picking up the pace, if you enjoy running or jogging, you can start a slow jog and see if you can slow jog and breathe through the nose. That's where you're gonna really notice where you'll switch to the mouth if you're mouth breathing. And most of us, I have to say, generally, most of us will start breathing through the mouth as soon as the intensity gets higher. So it really is a practice if you want to take it on. So, but to be really efficient, and you want to last on that court with the energy you walked on with, and you want to walk off with almost as much energy. You know, you're obviously not going to be the same, but you want to have enough energy that if you needed to do something and, you know, jump back on that court, you've got it. You know, you don't feel so out of breath because you've just exhaled so much. And again, when you're breathing through the mouth, we're releasing a lot of water. So you're going to feel thirsty. So if you're feeling really, really thirsty when you're playing, a lot of the time is because we're breathing through the mouth again. So see if you can close the mouth as much as possible and just slowly train yourself to breathe through your nose. Because I tell, if at your age, if you're able to do this, it's going to be very, very helpful as you get older. Yeah, and just in general, I mean this from a, just from a mindset part as well. In studying, it really helps the mind. It oxygenates the mind. And you really want to have efficient breathing to be able to learn new things. Take the breaks as well. Don't overlearn things. Take the breaks and let the body experience what you've learned. Another important tool. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you got something good out of it. And please feel free to contact me through the club as well. Or I've got a website called Sophro Australia. So it's spelled SOPHRO Australia. And you can just send me a message through there, if not through the club. It's absolutely fine. Okay, Jordan or Greg?
I'm here. Great work, Soph. I have a couple of questions before.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that okay? That I can.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier on at the start. I've just made a note of it about when it happens all the time. Happens to me as well. That you're shooting bad, and then if you believe in someone says you're shooting bad, and you start to believe it, it becomes a reality. What's a tip around that? As in, when I'm shooting bad too, usually people don't need to tell me. I already know I'm shooting bad. I'm like, God, Jordan, you're shooting bad. You got to make the next shot. Do you have a tip or anything to not believe that and let that manifest?
You're actually, so we're our own worst critic. And so a lot of the time, especially in our teenage years, we're taking on everything that people are saying to us. So the best tip I can give you is understand how your body feels when you do this shot and you've got it in. You have to take yourself out of that thought there's actually a really good tip. I've actually just done this with another client. So what I want you to do now, I don't know if you'll be comfortable doing this on the court, but when you wherever you put touch on your body, your mind goes there. When you catch yourself having this thought, oh, I can't do this, just find a delete button. Find wherever it is on your head, press delete. So imagine you've got this button, go delete, and you're either going to imagine, again, using a visualization, you're either going to imagine, like in my generation, a CD coming out of your head, throwing it away, or you're going to imagine just putting, that thought into the garbage on your computer. See it as imagine your body as a computer system. Your physical body is the hardware. Those thoughts are the software program. We want to reprogram that. So the only way to reprogram that is put in a better thought. You need to change that thought. The thoughts that you practice the most are the ones that are going to come up. So in the moments, anytime you feel a thought come on saying, I can't do this, you need to reprogram that. That's going to take practice, and it's going to take a lot of belief. Now, remember, any time you put meaning to something, you believe it instantly. So start putting meaning to the things that are going to help you, and ignore the things that don't. Some people saying things as in, I don't know if you'll ever get there. I don't know if you can do that. You can actually have the attitude also of, I can do this, but that's belief in yourself. So you need to practice that belief system. And really, it is the physical practice that's going to get you there too. Someone who's constantly going, no, I can do it, and they're always praised, whether they've been praised from a young child, and they've got really good attitude about themselves, but they're not putting in the practice on the court, they're probably not going to be able to sustain that growing up, and going, further in a sports career or any career, really. You have to understand your body, and you have to feel those physical sensations and really know the feeling that you've done it before. You've done it once. Why can't you do it again? Don't let one person's comments put you off when you know you've done it before. So it's both the mindset and the practice. Yeah, does that answer that?
Absolutely, it does. And I've got another question for you too. And I know as a player, it's for me, for big as well. So your journey to the game, so whether it's a car ride or you're walking to the game, what it may be, sometimes you get really anxious. Maybe it's a big game, or maybe that we haven't played in a while because of lockdown, and we come back. Is there any types of tip that you could give us as players that we could do? Is there some sort of technique or anything we can do in the car just to calm down a little bit, or even in the stadium when we're there waiting for our game?
Yeah, breathing. Go back to your breath. The basic thing is breath, and I'll give you a really good. This is a breathing technique that the Navy SEALs use, and if you look it up, it's called square breathing, and it's to the count of 4. So the perfect breath. So what we want to do is, so when we start having all these thoughts and we start getting anxious, we're breathing shallow into the chest. So what we want to do is get the breath down into the abdomen again. So making sure that you're breathing low and light. And what's going to help is actually counting. So you breathe in for the, so it's like if you drew a square in your imagination. So you count in for the count of 4, and it's a slow count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just keep doing this round. And I would suggest that when you're not used to doing this very much, you time it for 2 minutes to start with. And then if you feel like you can do more time, then put your timer on for a longer period of time. But just so you've got, sometimes you need that, I'm going to finish. It's not going to, it's only 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. Start off slow, but start off doing something. And it's generally with the breath. And then there's what you can do, because the perfect breath is actually to really slow the heart rate down. And this is what you want to be able to do, when you're taking those breaks, when there's a timeout and you're really pumped. Now, again, it's important to have a balance, right? Because you need that energy as well. So you need a little bit of that fight or flight, but you want to be able to, from that, switch it to that flow state. You don't want to go from fight or flight into, oh my gosh, I can't do it. So there's like a fine line there. So you want to keep the energy up. And so the way to actually, is actually, there's another breath. So again, it's counting, but what you want to do is actually make your exhale longer. When you get used to the actual square breathing, then you can try this, and you go count in for 4, breathe, hold it for 6, and breathe out for 7. So it's 4, hold it for 6, breathe out for 7. And you can play around with those numbers until, so when you're just breathing out slowly and efficiently as well. And if you can start to do that through the nose, sometimes it's going to take a lot of practice. So if it is breathing out through the mouth to start with, if that's your starting point, that's fine, but really practice breathing through the nose, in through the nose and out through the nose. Yeah, but sometimes it feels good to just take that, let that breath out. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. What about after the game too? So I know sometimes when I have doesn't even matter if it's a good or bad game, and you get home and maybe you can't sleep, or you're just hanging out on the couch. Like, do you have a tip there? Like,
if you've got
it can be a long night.
You've got a sauna, little infrared sauna. Now, I've actually got one here. I don't know if you can, I might put a light on. So there's these, I don't know if you want to go to this extent, but recovery is really important in any sport. Recovery is really important, again, with the breath work. But something like, see this little blue, oh, sorry, I've just dropped a frame. See that little blue box? That pulls out, that's a little infrared